In your opinion, where do you see the future of waste management in, let's say, the next 3 to 5 years? And despite the potential that we have all observed in what can be done and the very important problems that must be tackled, where do you see this going in the next 5 years?
For next 5 years, I would say it's majorly just handful of things. One is more of a circular economy, where this concept is now coming in. For example, if you've seen the news today itself, Google claimed that they are going all green in terms of their initiatives. So I believe that a lot of organizations are now coming again to the circular economy concept in terms of 3R. Also, waste to energy is one which I believe is now a important issue. I mean, for example, earlier for organic waste also, it used to be just waste to compost or vermicompost. Now there is waste to biogas, waste to electricity, waste to bio CNG, waste to biofuel, things like that coming already existing in India. And I believe that it's there in countries like India. A lot of developed countries are already ahead of us as compared to that. So that's the second aspect. And third is I would say now a lot of production agencies are coming as a responsible producers. I also believe that a lot of consumers are coming as a responsible consumers. But in 3 to 5 years, there will be more responsibility coming from retailers. And I believe that that could be a game changer in countries like India, because we are very much dependent on a lot of retailers. And if that could be something worked upon, I believe the dynamics for India would change very fast.
Interesting. And I think one thing that I'd like to understand from you, Gaurav, is so you just touched upon the consumer right now. So, how have you noticed the shift in the mindset of the consumer in terms of approaching waste management over the past 10 to 15 years? So, do you see a positive shift that's taking place with the population becoming younger right now? And if so, where do you see what sort of impact do you see that is having on the overall ecosystem?
For overall, I would say this has been slow still for countries like India, and I will also say the reason why. Because, for example, if you send anyone to abroad and countries where, I mean, countries which are extremely clean, you will see people not littering around, not spitting around and things like that. And these are the behavioral changes which comes the moment we see cleanliness around, right? For us in India, where we see a lot of piles of waste lying in our neighborhood, we hardly notice there is a change. So I believe the important aspect is through two ways. For one, which I am also firm believer that being into waste management, you also need to be an activist around it. By activist, what I mean is that I don't want to just talk about it, but then I want to inspire people through my actions. So a lot of my friends, whenever let's say I'm out for a takeaway coffee and things like that. So whenever I make a gesture or action where I'm throwing things in dustbin and things like that, people started adopting it. For example, I do carry my own cutlery kit where I also even have a stainless steel straw. So wherever I go to a restaurant, things like that, I carry that, I clean that up, and I again put back in my bag. So, and let's say this is one. I also
Sorry, I think the issue was from my end. I think there was a network. So, yeah, apologize for that. So yeah, you're just saying yeah, it's all we need to make the change ourselves, and we need to really uphold that activism in ourselves. And yeah, sorry, I'll let you continue.
Sure. So, I mean, I gave a couple of examples. So I have my own cutlery set. I carry my own water bottle, which is not just plastic. So I think these are the certain things which says a lot of things to people who are around you without you saying it. So I believe that these are the small changes which we need to bring in our lifestyle. And luckily, I see a lot of startups working on products like on bamboo or stainless steel in India now. So that's really a good sign. And this is, I think, yeah. So this is the self activism is the one, and also the way we can slowly shift from fossil fuels to renewable sources. I believe that could be the bigger change.
Absolutely, I completely agree. Gaurav, I think we've covered a lot of really interesting topics in this webinar. Now, just to conclude, I just have one final question. According to you, how important is social entrepreneurship, especially in a country like India? And what role do you think it plays in our society right now?
Very interesting. If if I say as of now, after during the pandemic, I would say the social entrepreneurship is the next big thing. And when I say that, I mean uh, considering the economy, considering the amount of people have lost their jobs, and amount of people who haven't got their jobs yet. So if you see all these three economics, I believe that a lot of people uh, are going to start their own ventures in near time, and bringing that factor into the existence, I believe a lot of healthy competition will come into the existence, and due to which eventually the pricing will become better, the product will get better, and at the end, consumer will benefit. So looking on those grounds, I believe as a country we are going to make a lot of social good, and so yeah, that is one aspect. Also, I believe that entrepreneurship doesn't matter whether you create a successful giant startup or not. What matters is that this is more of a lifestyle, and the reason, one thing which I really admire is that I understood the difference between just having an idea and going into the execution. So if this is the kind of mindset you carry in your own life, eventually a lot of things do get easy, and eventually you become a better human being. So I believe that's something what we need in this time and era. And looking on those grounds, I believe a lot of startups are going to come into the market. A lot of incubation or a lot of different kind of mentors are going to be in the market, and eventually here and there, if you see these pieces lying around, and if there is proper framework where they can come together, I believe there could be a good economic reform as well for country.